Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is Real Talk with Coach Sherry, and this channel is about workforce development, career readiness, entrepreneurship, and of course, real life, real issues, and real talk. And tonight, I am going to talk about my experience in meeting Maya Angelou. I met her, I want to say 2006, and it was in Charlotte, North Carolina at a UNICEF luncheon. And that is the United Negro College Fund luncheon that was held here. And it was what is it called? The Women in Leadership luncheon. And it was an amazing experience. But before I get into that, I want to invite you, if you have not yet joined this channel, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit the like as you come in and join the chat. Don't just sit back. Come on and join the chat and ask questions, leave comments, all those great things. I really appreciate all of you for being here. I see Yeast Belize is in the building. Hello, how are you doing today? How's everything? Have you had a good day so far? Yes, it was an honor meeting Maya Angelou. It really was. I wasn't expecting to, well, I guess I kind of was expecting to meet her. At least I was hoping to. And so when it happened, it was amazing. So I'm looking forward to sharing that story with you all. Hey, Zaya Rose, how are you doing? I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for being here in my live. I appreciate you. So, United Negro College Fund is a huge support for HBCUs across the United States. And an HBCU is a historical Black college and university. I actually went to Lincoln University in Pennsylvania, which is the first HBCU in this country. It was founded in 1854. And if you are a historian, you will know that 1854, we were still slaves. And so Lincoln University is nestled in the Lancaster County area. It's about 45 minutes to an hour southwest of Philadelphia. So it's kind of in between Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. And it's in a very safe community. Back in 1854, that whole area was Amish land. Even when I went to college there, it was Amish land. And so it was a very safe haven for African Americans to get educated, because we weren't even allowed to read and write back then. However, Lincoln University was established and was giving out degrees, not high school diplomas, but degrees. And I am very proud to have attended Lincoln University. I'm trying to tell you, I had an amazing experience there academically, socially, culturally. It was a great place to be groomed and to prepare myself for corporate America, for entrepreneurship. It definitely helped build up my posture, my confidence. I've made lifelong friends at Lincoln University. I pledged my sorority at Lincoln University. And I met my husband's best friend who introduced me to my husband at Lincoln University. So Lincoln University holds a place near and dear to my heart. And I want to tell you, the campus, because it is nestled in Amish land, we had nothing but farms around Lincoln University. And that's one thing that people would always say, Lincoln have all those farms. But you know what? Those farms means that A, it was safe, but B, the campus was beautiful. And even off campus, it was beautiful. It was not in a city. It was close enough to the city where you can go and come in a day, but it was not in a city. And that's why, to me, Lincoln University in Pennsylvania has the most beautiful campus of all HBCUs in this country. And I will argue that point or debate that point to the end. I have been to many campuses with my children, doing college visits, tours, and things of that nature. And so I've seen many, many HBCUs from Louisiana to Pennsylvania and everything in between. And I have not seen a campus more beautiful than Lincoln. And when people say that, they're like, really? How could it be? It was well kept. It has grown, the campus. We've restored and preserved historical buildings. We've added new buildings, but the aesthetic is still the same. It's a walking campus. So when you go, you see students just walking, gathering, and it's just beautiful. It feels like you can learn on that campus. There's not a lot of distractions, which is a great thing. And that's what I needed. And, I needed a place where, at least during the week, I can focus. And Lincoln definitely was a great campus to focus. I see Nikki Nichols is in the building. Hello, how are you, Boss Lady Denise? Thank you for being here. Minister of Music, Terrence Trower, how are you? And Catherine with Friends is in the building. I see a lot of people coming in. I wasn't expecting this. Let's see. I said hi to Zaya Rose and to Yeez Belize. I appreciate you all for being here, rocking with me. Today is Thursday. You could have been anywhere else, and you are here with me. I also want to invite you tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is my standard time of going live every week. I'm going to have two special guests, alumni from Lincoln University, to talk about their experience as students at Lincoln, as well as alumni. Because right now with C19, so much is going on, and I'm not sure what the other PWI schools are doing, which is the predominantly white institutions, are doing. But I know many HBCUs, if not all, are having virtual homecomings. And this weekend is Lincoln's homecoming. And so we're having a virtual homecoming. And so they're going to talk about the process with that. And so I'm excited. And just to hear the legacy of Lincoln, Thurgood Marshall went to Lincoln, Langston Hughes, Roscoe Lee Brown, so many. I went to Lincoln. There's so many great alum from Lincoln, and I'm just proud to be one of them. So I'm excited to share that information with you. And for the weeks coming, I will have other alumni, not just from Lincoln, but from other schools as well, to share their story. I think this is a great month to share those stories because many HBCUs have their homecomings. And if you have never been to a HBCU homecoming, you have not been home. I am trying to tell you, it is a place where you feel like you are at a Thanksgiving table with all of your family. It is the most welcoming event. And I know that North Carolina A&T calls their homecomings GHO, which stands for the greatest homecoming on earth. And my daughter is a junior at A&T. I went to one of their homecomings. It was a great homecoming, but I wouldn't call it the greatest on earth, at least not for me. And I know Aggie pride and all that, but my greatest homecoming on earth for me is my own, which is at Lincoln. And I would expect that anyone who went to Norfolk State, Virginia State, Hampton, Howard, Spelman, Morehouse, Clark, any other school, Grambling, any school, any HBCU, your homecoming is probably the greatest one on earth to you too. So shout out to the HBCU alum. I see Green Fam 20 is in the building 2.0. Thank you for being here. Everyone, if you don't know each other, because this right here is a great live already. I see so many amazing YouTubers. Please be sure to look them up, write their names down, and look them up and connect with them. They are wonderful. I'm really appreciative of all the support and the network and the community that I have gained so far here on YouTube. If you haven't already, please be sure to like this live, share it out. I can't wait to share my story of when I met Maya Angelou. It was one of the most meaningful encounters that I've ever had. So, like I started to tell you, I met her, it was either 2006 or 2007 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. UNICEF was having their annual luncheon, and it's a hat luncheon for powerful women leaders. And so every woman that attends wears a big, beautiful hat. And I was so excited to go. One, because I went to an HBCU, but two, I knew that Maya Angelou was going to be there. And at the time, I had my jewelry business. And I don't know if you recall, but a while ago, I had shared that with my jewelry business, one of my key pieces was pearls. And that's because I had connected with a flight attendant who flew to Hong Kong. That was one of her paths or one of her routes. And so she was able to get me pearls, amazing pearls. I called her a pearl girl. She was able to get me amazing pearls to do my jewelry with. And so I would make bracelets, necklaces, earrings, rings. I would send them out, get them made, just doing a lot of different things. And so a lot of people realized that that was one of my staple pieces. Was I was known to have beautiful pearl jewelry. So I had this pearl bracelet, and it had a charm on it, a little silver charm, and it was a prayer box. It had praying hands, it had a cross, and it was just a little box. You could actually open it. It was nothing inside, but it was really just prayers. I would say, just say a prayer, and that prayer would be locked in there. And, when you need it, you pull it out, or when you think about it, it was just a prayer box bracelet. So I was thinking that I wanted to gift it to Maya Angelou. And so I put it in a beautiful, I had these sheer bags, and I put it in a really beautiful sheer bag and wrapped it up really nicely and everything. And I was just hoping that I had an opportunity to get close enough to her to present it. And let's see who else is in here. I see Mr. and Mrs. Anibalo. Thank you for being here so much. It's great to see you. It's great to see all of you. I hope you all had a great day. If you heard of UNICEF, United Negro College Fund, and I keep thinking I'm saying it wrong, but if you've heard of it, please put a red heart in the chat box. If you attended an HBCU, put the name of your HBCU, rep your HBCU in the chat box as well. I would love to know where you guys are hailing from. So, or if your parents went to an HBCU, if one of your siblings went to an HBCU, put that HBCU in there. Let's rep some HBCUs here tonight. So the luncheon was wonderful. I want to say that Oprah was there as well, but I can't really recall because that was before I started caring for my mother. I started caring for my mother in 2009. Really in 2008, I was back and forth, but it's hard for me to remember the exact dates and all of the details of things prior to, like, pre-ALS. So, I want to say Oprah was there. I know she's been to other ones here in Charlotte, but I can't recall if it was that one. But I know that Maya Angelou was there, and she was a lot older. And, as she got older, she became a little more frail. I mean, her stature and her voice was still powerful, but you could tell, like with age and everything, she started to get a little frail. So my table was not far from hers. It was probably about 3 or 4 tables back from hers. There was about 500 women there, and it was a beautiful scene to see all these beautiful women with their beautiful hats, matching outfits, and that was a big deal. So I see Pink Motivation. How are you? How are you today? It's great to see you. Thanks for coming in. Is in the building. So after lunch, after we ate, and we had maybe 1 or 2 speakers prior to Maya Angelou going up, but I saw like a way to get to her. I was like, wait a minute. After lunch, people are going to the restroom, or they had amazing vendors in the hallway. So some people were going out there to see what the vendors had. And for some reason at her table, it may have been 3 people sitting there with her. And so, because I kept my eye on that, because I had the gift and I wanted to present her with this gift. So I was like, I might be able to go over there right now. It's not like there's security here. She doesn't have security with her. She's approachable. This might be my time. So I had a friend with me. And so I asked her to come. I said, can you come, and maybe if I give this to her, I'm gonna also ask for a picture. And so she said, okay. You sure? I said, yeah, I'm gonna do it now. And oh my goodness. So I went over to her, and she had a huge wide brim hat on, and I had a wide brim hat on. And so when she was sitting, she was, sitting down kind of low. And I'm 5'7". I like to say I'm 5'8". I wish I was 5'10", but I'm 5'7", and I had heels on, so I was probably about 6 feet or so. And so I'm tall, I was tall, and I knelt down so that I could be eye to eye with her, and that so that she could hear me, because she was sitting down so low, and it was a lot of hustle and bustle going on in the room, people moving about and everything. And so I wanted to make sure she could hear me. And oh my goodness. Hold on, let me see who else is in here. Oh, okay. Your sister-in-law attended Hampton University. That's awesome. Cool. That's a beautiful campus. Hampton University is in Virginia, and it's on the James River. I think it's the James River. But imagine being on campus, and there's this water. There's a beach, it's not far from the beach, and there's water right there. I would be so distracted. But Hampton is a beautiful campus. They have this huge oak tree in the middle of campus, and they call it the Emancipation Tree. And that's the tree that they say Abraham Lincoln came through, or I've heard two different versions. I've heard Abraham Lincoln, and I've heard an abolitionist. I can't remember the abolitionist's name. That's where they read the Emancipation Proclamation to the slaves in that area. And that tree still stands. It is huge. It's beautiful, and they also have this museum. If you ever are in the Virginia area, in the Hampton Roads area, near Norfolk, Virginia, I would say try to go and visit Hampton's campus, and they have a museum. It's free to get in, and they have so many amazing artifacts in there. So it's a great, great place. Let's see who else is in here. Green Fam 20. Your daughter went to Lincoln University. Oh my goodness. That is so amazing. When did she graduate? Oh my goodness. I loved Lincoln so much. I promise you, I still love Lincoln. It's like this. This is how I look at college. And that's why I know college is not for everyone, but if you are going to go to college and you're young and you're planning on living on campus, I highly recommend that when you visit that campus, you try to actually envision yourself there. You try to see yourself there, because that college is going to be your home, and it's going to be your home forever. So for instance, my parents, they sold their home in New Jersey, and they moved. And so the house that they moved to is not the house I grew up in. I love it because it's their house, but it's not the house I grew up in. But with Lincoln, or with whatever school you decide to go to, that's going to be your home. So yeah, my parents may have moved. My mom may have passed away, but Lincoln is still there. When I go there, I just want to take my shoes off and walk in the grass barefoot. It brings tears to my eyes when I go. I get so anxious when I get closer to the campus. Like, we're almost there. My kids and I went to New York last year for my niece's wedding. And on the way back, we drove through the campus. If I ever drive north to south, I always drive through Lincoln's campus. And I'm so amazed and impressed with the growth that the campus has. I'm just always so blown away. Let's see. She graduated in 2016. Okay, that's so cool. Congratulations. This weekend is Lincoln University's virtual homecoming. So if you've never been to an HBCU's homecoming, I know virtually it is still going to be live. I cannot wait. I'll have more information about the virtual homecoming if you want to come. I know they're going to have like a Zoom party. I believe there's tickets. You can make a donation, whatever. But I'll have more information about that tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my live. I'm sorry, you guys, for my bangs. I really need to cut them because I have like flyaways that get into my eyes. So, but okay, that is so cool. I know she lived in Hansberry Hall. That's where the freshman girls live in. When I go back to campus, whoever lives in my room when I was a freshman, and this is something, you know, if you went to, even if it wasn't an HBCU, whatever school you went to, if you go back to your campus to visit, I know for me, I always go back to my freshman dorm and I go and knock on the room that I lived in. And whoever answers, whoever lives in there, I give them money because I know how it is, you know, as a freshman in particular. And typically when I would visit, it would be homecoming. But if it's like just random, then I do it just random because I know how it could be. Yes, that first year is so tough, Green Fam. It is so tough because you're trying to understand what balancing money is. You're so used to being able to go to your parents or whatever, but they're not there. So sometimes what you have is what you have, and it may or may not be enough because there's things that come up in addition to your food or what you want to buy for your school, your classes. And, you know, as a young person, I know I was 17 when I started college. I didn't turn 18 till October. That was my first time away from home for an extended period of time without my family. So it was it was really good. Hi, Tuber Chat. Thank you for being here. Connect and Grow. Tuber Chat, Connect and Grow, you guys. He has an amazing live stream. He knows people all over the world and they come and the connections are genuine. I really enjoy him. He is a super supporter of all YouTube channels, large and small. And I really appreciate him so much. I'm glad that he's here. Jaden Suh, 28, is in the building. Thank you for being here. Absolutely. I'm glad to see you all here. So I am talking about when I met Maya Angelou. And so, like I said, I saw the pathway, the room was clearing out, and I knew it was my chance to go up to her. So I went over to her, and like I said, I was towering. I had a huge hat on. She had a huge hat on. For her to look up, I felt like it was too much. You know, it was just too much. So I knelt down. You know, I just squatted down basically. And when I squatted, I was right there with her. I started to tell her, you know, how it was my honor to meet her. It was what she has done with literature, for, you know, has been amazing, and how much I respected her work and, you know, the trail that she's blazing and just whatever, all kinds of things, right? Whew. Before I could get probably maybe like the sixth word out, because I didn't believe I thought someone was going to like tackle me. You know, I was getting closer to her as I was walking, and I was like, okay, somebody's probably going to come out of the woods or something. And even though it was indoors, but still, somebody's probably going to come out of the woods and tackle me because I'm getting too close. I'm getting too close. But, you know, to be able to just walk up on her like that, I was like, oh, so I really didn't have prepared what I was going to say, but I did want to tell her it was an honor to meet her and, you know, the respect that I have for her work. Okay, let me see. Everyone is saying hello. Hey, the Miss Yo-Yo Show. How are you? Wow, I get to see you twice in one day. This is awesome. I hope you had a good day at work. I know when I saw you this morning, you were on your way. I hope you are doing well. It's great to see everyone. Like I said, everyone in this live right now are amazing. If you don't know each other, please write each other's names down and go back and visit each other, because you guys are the cat's meow. You're the dog's bark. And I really appreciate you, and you all have great channels with amazing content. And so I would hope that you all know each other. So I squat down and I'm in, you know, I'm eye level with her, and I'm trying to talk. Whew, she stops me and says, "Child, stand up." stand up. I was like, okay, stand up, kneel to no man, only to God. It's like, yeah. I stood up and I really didn't know what to say after that, because that's real talk. You know, she said, kneel to no man, to no one, to nobody, to nothing but God. Like, don't matter how I have to tilt my head, my hat, whatever, how I have to look up, look down, no matter, do not kneel. And that's why when Beyonce had that song, remember that song, Bow Down or something? Her saying that to me ran through my head over and over again. Bow down. No, no. So after all these years, and I was grown when I met her, but I was a child to her, you know, absolutely. And I know that that was just a lesson, and I'm so glad she gave it to me. And, you know, I'm just thinking I'm just squatting so that she doesn't have to turn her neck up so high. You know, I wasn't thinking about it as a worship or anything. Absolutely not. I only worship God. But to hear her say it in her tone, so now I'm really nervous. And I said to her, you know, I made this gift for you, just for you. And I hope that you will receive it. And she took it and she looked at it and she said, this is lovely, child. This is lovely. I love it. But what I need you to do, now she's giving it back to me. She said, what I need you to do is mail it to me. I can't accept it like this. You have to mail it to me. Okay. What's your address? Let's see. Yes, Green Fam. Chill. So serious. So it's like, what is your address? Oh. And she said, if you want me to have it, you will find my address, child. Okay. Do you mind if I take a picture? You know, now I'm trying to like keep my posture straight, keep my voice from quivering. She said, of course. So, I mean, the height difference was amazing from where she was sitting, because she really couldn't just stand up like that. And I can't, I have to try and locate that picture. That's something I know I should have, but my friend actually took it with her, either camera or phone. And you know how phones were back then. This was 2006, 2007, maybe even 2005. I don't know. I don't even think I looked at the picture, because I was just so, I don't know, that lesson just struck such a chord with me in a positive way. And it just resonates with me with everything, you know? And that's why when I see my kids walking and they have their back straight, their heads up high, I'm so proud of them. You know, like, yes, own that. You know who your father is, your real father, your heavenly father. Do that. And it's those little things, those words of wisdom that we get. And sometimes people don't catch it and they get offended. They get mad. Like, who you think you're talking to? What? Oh, you know what? I guess what's not going to happen. That's not necessary. Listen, especially to our elders, because they know what they're talking about and they're just grooming us. You are never too old to be groomed and to learn. It is important. So I want you all to stand up, kneel to no man, only kneel to God. Y'all, she said that to me. Oh, goodness. I yes. So put also in the chat if you've ever been to a UNCF, a United Negro College Fun luncheon, where you had to wear those big hats and you know, hear the great speakers, amazing speakers were there. I want to say I went to one year, and do you remember the actress Cheryl Lee Ralph? Cheryl Lee Ralph. She was one of the speakers one year. She was a great speaker too. I believe her husband is a politician, and he is in, where is he a politician? In Philadelphia, right? I think he's in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I see everyone is saying hello. I'm glad to see everyone. So have you ever had an encounter like that with anyone? Or even if you've met Maya Angelou before, I feel very fortunate to have met her, because she is one of those staple warriors. She's one of those strong women voice, that soundness that we're missing in our society, that, not everyone has the pleasure of meeting. And I'm very fortunate to have had that encounter with her. And when I dated my husband and he was playing with the New York Giants and I was working on Wall Street in Manhattan, we used to volunteer for Sickle Cell Anemia Association in New York. And they would meet and for those of you who are familiar with Harlem, you would be able to know the building. It's a building where Malcolm X got assassinated at. What's the name of that building? Does anybody know? It's off of 125th Street. It's in that vicinity. But we used to go to our meetings there. And Ozzie Davis and Ruby Dee were part of the organization. And it was a small group of us. So they became almost like godparents. They were an amazing couple. And to see them out of character and just being husband and wife was so different for me. I wasn't expecting them to be the way that they are. They are so different than their characters. I mean, they're still strong. They're still confident. But they were just, I felt like maybe Ruby Dee was more different than Ozzy was for me. And it was interesting to be with them. I really admired them. They had been married at that time, probably 40, 50 years, maybe 40 years, because my husband and I had been married for 25. We were just dating then. So yeah, it was interesting. But what is the name of that building in Harlem near the Apollo? Because I remember I would take the A train from downtown to uptown and get off at 125th Street and walk and meet him there, because he would drive, because he just lived right across the Lincoln Tunnel. I lived right across the George Washington Bridge. So if you're not familiar with Manhattan, there's so many different parts of New Jersey that can kind of get into New York. And so my part where I lived, which was Teaneck, was across the George Washington Bridge. But where my husband lived, which was Secaucus, was across the Lincoln Tunnel. So he would just come through the tunnel. And it was great when he would try to come and take me to lunch and stuff, which I loved. And you guys, when I worked there, it was so crazy. It was my first real job out of college. And they said lunch is between 12 and 2:30. What does that mean to you? Does that mean you take lunch from 12 to 12:30, from 12 to 1? What does that mean? Or 1 to 2, 1:30 to 2? What does that mean to you? The way I heard it was lunch was from 12 to 2:30. So I took lunch from 12 to 2:30 every day. And if you guys have never worked in New York, trust me, there's so much you can get into between 12 and 2:30. So I'm all the way downtown on Wall Street. I would take the train up to Harlem, go to the Mart. I don't know if you guys remember or have been to Harlem, but across the street from the Apollo was this indoor merchandise mart. I would go in there for lunch. And then the other thing, sometimes I would eat my lunch at my desk at like 11:30, so I could have the whole 2.5 hours just to shop or do whatever. That was terrible. But I think everybody did that for real, because I never would see anyone. I would get my nails done. I would meet my husband. He would come pick me up. We would go to restaurants down at the seaport. They had these restaurants down there on the water on the Hudson. It was like it was like paradise. I would go to the World Trade Center because back then the World Trade Center was still up. And especially in the spring and summer, they would have musicians playing outside, and you could just sit out. It would be beautiful weather, just people watch. People from all over the world were coming there. And it was a great experience. If you have young people in your life, if you are a young person, and I mean, really, it could be any age, but I think especially when you're a young person, experiencing working in Manhattan is everything. It's life-changing. Even if you do it for 1 year, it is a really special experience. There's so much you can get into, and it has to be at least 1 full year. You have to do it for all 4 seasons, because each season there's something different you can get into. In the winter, you have going to Macy's, ice skating at Rockefeller Center. In the summer, you have the plays that actors who are on hiatus are doing for free in Central Park. In the fall, you have the races, the 5K races, and the meals that they have at Tavern on the Green, and the changing of the seasons and seeing the leaves. And in the spring, you have spring is here. You have the plays to go to on Broadway. This is so much to do and see and take advantage of. And I feel like it just enhances and enriches your life and your spectrum of things. Let's see. I see everyone is. Thank you, the Miss Yo-Yo Show. I was debating, because of this year 2020 has been really interesting. But I turned 50 last year. And so I was thinking about turning 50 again this year, like a do-over. And then from this point on, I would just be a year younger. But you know what? I'm going to be 51, and I'm going to own it. I'm going to claim it. That's what I am. And I'm excited for it. I'm here for it, and see what comes May. My cousin, who is also like a mentor to me, and I do a lot of things, especially around workforce development. I'm considered a subject matter expert in it. And I've had articles written about me, but I've never written an article to be published. And so my cousin was telling me, you need to be published. You need to write an article and get it published. And so I was like, okay, I have to find time to do that, but okay, I'll look into it. And as soon as she said that, and this is why I don't know if you guys pick a word or a phrase for the year, but my phrase for 2020 has been intentional serendipity. And, we all know serendipity is happenstance, and, things just happen, because so many things just happen. And I always be like, I was just minding my business, and this thing that we were looking for just showed up. But the intentional part is, intentionally, I try to upskill myself. Intentionally, I try to develop my skills. Intentionally, I try to do the right networking. Intentionally, I try to hone and perfect my craft. So because of that, serendipity happens. So it's not happenstance. It's just what happens when you are prepared. So when my cousin said that, literally a week later, a organization who's huge in one of the industries that I serve contacted me, and they were like, we want you to write an article about the programs that you developed. I was like, really? Like, because this is how, I just had this conversation the week before. So they said, yeah. So it was during C19. I had just started working from home. So I started, crafting the article. I looked at their publication to see what their articles looked like. And, I didn't use the words, but just the layout, like, oh, okay, their articles be like 2 and 3 pages. So I'm gonna have to put a lot into it and pull out some pictures and things. And so I did it, and I sent it in the draft, and they have a whole team of editors, and they put their draft, they put their edits in and sent it back to me. And so we were back and forth probably like 2 or 3 times until it was done. And it came out today. Was like, oh my goodness. So I told my father, and he was so happy. Because he knows, he understands me. and loves me so much. So it's a wonderful thing. So it's a state magazine, a state publication. And so today, like I said, I got it today. It came out and I'm like, oh my goodness, I got it in digital. And this morning, as I'm like so excited about it, I get a call from someone in San Francisco who wants me to collaborate and do another article that's going to be national and international on workforce development. And I'm just like, this is God. Thank you so much, Jesus. I'm so grateful and thankful. You guys, you have to have a goal. You have to have a purpose and work towards it every day, little by little. You just never know how it will manifest itself. And I just know this is nothing but God. I'm just the vessel. He's just using me, and I'm being obedient and not straying when things get tough, when things may not seem like it's going the way I need it to go or want it to go. I just continuously do my best. Because you have no control over what other people say, do, or think. You only have control over your actions, your words, and how you show up. So no matter what another person is doing, don't let them get you out of your character. Don't go down to their level. Definitely don't kneel down to them. Continue to do your best and show up. Remain professional at all times. Understand that there is a means to this, and you are going to get it, and you're going to understand it, and it's all going to make sense. It may not make sense as you're going through it, but it will make sense. And I reflect back on what Maya Angelou said to me, not to a whole group of people, not to a whole room of people, not over the television, not over the radio, not in a movie, but directly to me. Kneel to no one but God. God is the one. That's our Father. We don't have to, man can't do it for us. Man thinks they can do it for us. Man can't do it for us. They don't have that kind of power. Everything, I took it as everything that she has done, I can do too. I may not do it like she has done it. Don't ever think you're going to do it like that person, like YouTube. There's great channels in here. I see Sister Fefe Tyson is in the building. Hello, Sister Fefe. I hope you are doing well. Let's see. And so Ease Believes is saying, I saw that all the time, say that all the time to my children, that word control and our actions. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Thank you, Ease Believes. I'm trying to tell you, thank you, Sister Fefe. Y'all, I am published in a professional publication. And I'm so excited. I am so excited about it. It just does something to my heart, my spirit, and I'm just thankful and grateful. Wow. Thank you, Sister Fefe. Thank you, Green Fam 20 2.0. Thank you. I'm glad you made it, Sister Fefe Tyson. I'm glad you made it. Absolutely. Yes, God is the one. And so you have to make sure to know who, there's only one person. It's not even, what are you making sure of? Who are you giving praises to? Just be obedient. Know that you have an assignment. Your assignment is going to change all the time, because when you've conquered and you've passed that assignment, you did well, job done, job well done, my child, you're going to get another assignment. And you always need to be ready. But know that the assignment you just finished is going to provide you with skills needed, transferable skills needed to accomplish your next assignment. And you don't know where all your assignments are going to lead to. I look at my kids and they're doing some remarkable things at an early age. I look at, especially my center child, I'm looking at her like, whew, I never knew anyone at 20 like you. What? That girl is something else amazing. And I tell my kids, you need to have a plan and you need to have direction. You need to have a path. But you always need to know who is really guiding you. So don't get married to your plan. Don't get caught into your plan so much that you can't let it go. Because, you know, what do they say? When you make a plan, God laughs. Because he has the ultimate plan. He's just giving you these assignments so that you can glean some things from it, get those nuggets from it, so that the plan that he really has for you, you can be ready for it. And the plan he has for you is not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen next year. It may not be for another 5, 10, 15, 20 years that your plan happens. And when it all comes together and starts to make sense, you'll be like, that's why I went through that. That's why I did that. I was thinking that was a waste of time, but it wasn't. Nothing you do is a waste of time. Nothing. The walks you take by yourself outside are not a waste of time. You sitting down to rest and gather yourself is not a waste of time. A job that's paying you minimum wage is not a waste of time. I had one of my former interns who is doing so good now. Her story, her testimony, I'm trying to tell you, things, game changing is happening. She's amazing. Her testimony. Yeah, you must trust his direction. Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys, trust the process. Trust the process. When someone is giving you words of wisdom, take it. Thank them for it. That's God speaking through them to you. That's an honor. When you can hear it like that, because I say that because I was, you know, that whole situation was just remarkable to me, meeting Maya Angelou. So of course, I told people about it. Not braggadocious, but just, y'all, I met Maya Angelou, you know? And not everyone, but some people were like, what? She said that? I know you're not going to send that. What? She wouldn't have said that to me. Oh, I would have just walked. What? You really? You would? Nope. No. Because that's a lesson. How many years ago was that? At least 15 years, 16 years, 14. I don't know. A lot of years ago, she told me that, and I still remember it as clearly and vividly. I just don't remember the exact year. I remember what I had on. I remember what she had on, all of that. That's how clear it was for me. And you can't always jump bad. You can't always think people are against you. You can't always think negative. Go in every situation with a clear heart, a clear mind, positive thoughts. They told me they wouldn't have sent it. I wouldn't have sent that because I found her address. Oh yeah. By the way, I found her address and mailed it out. I guess I should turn this down a little bit. Oh yes, absolutely, Sister Fefe Tyson. I have a lot of experiences that I really want to share with everyone. It's just that they come to me at different times because so much life has happened from 0 to 51. And I know they didn't just happen for me. They happened for me to share. I mean, I share them with my children, my husband and I, we share our journeys. And I know it's even more than that. And, I share them with my workforce development participants. You know what, in business, in marketing, and I know if you are building a YouTube channel, if you have a business, if you are an author, if you have any kind of thing where you are needing clients or customers or whatever, students, you need to know this. They always say in marketing, stories sell, people tell. Stories sell, people tell. And that's because stories, there's a master's program for storytelling. Did you know that? Dartmouth University, where up in New England, was recruiting my daughter. And the guy that was recruiting her told her he was getting his master's in storytelling. What? Storytelling? That's a big thing. So you going through all these things, you have these testimonies, you have these successes, you have these challenges, you have these unsuccesses, is what I like to call them too. They're not just for you to keep in, they're for you to share with others so that you don't know where they are on their journey. And sometimes it's about being vicariously through. Sometimes it's not something you actually have to experience, but someone else has. They either showed it to you, told you about it, or you saw it, whatever. And that's all you need to take you to that next level. But it's because of the story that they told you, because stories sell, people tell. So I really, as I remember, and they come in the midnight hour, as I'm about to drift off, sometimes I'm thinking, I have a pen and pad by my bedside and I'm able to jot down some little notes. And so that's also when I started thinking about HBCU. And then I started thinking about when I met Maya Angelou. And I was like, wow, that's right. I met Maya Angelou. I haven't shared that story in a long time. I wonder if my YouTube team would want to hear it. And I hope that you enjoyed it. It was just remarkable. Tales of Tea, hello. Thank you for being here. Blinding Lights, is great to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I know we typically see each other over at DTL, so I appreciate you for being here. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Fefe. Sister Fefe is one of my mods. She is amazing. I really highly recommend that you all connect with one another. I look at YouTube, especially in live chats, as a networking opportunity. Networking is huge. Networking is great for so many things. There's so many resources in here tonight in this live right here. There's so many resources, people doing amazing things with their channels. They're inspirational, motivational. They have great ideas. They share resources, strategies on how to do things even better. And if you don't reach out, how are you going to receive all of that? I'm always blown away when I'm at Tuber Chat, when I'm at Sister Fefe's, when I'm at Vern's Junk Closet, when I'm at Carter's Eats, when I'm at Stephanie's 50 and Climbing Mukbangs, when I'm at Be the Difference Clothing, GG Gluten Free Lab, when I'm at all these different channels, and I'm seeing new people all the time with amazing content. Like, wow, YouTube is really a great platform. People always say to me, oh, you should do a podcast. I said, I'm doing a podcast. What are you talking about? And they said, no, like a real podcast. I said, really? So YouTube is one of the oldest social media sites like this on the market. Because I know I've been on YouTube since 2008. And all those other podcast channels that people are recommending to me are much newer than that. So I'm like, why would I do that when I can just have everything right here? Whereas with podcasts, there's so many different ones. You don't know which one is the best. And then you got to tell people they got to sign up for it, whatever. Whereas with YouTube, it's such a variety of content. You can invite people here, but there's so many other places that will be just as beneficial for them to go. So yeah, I'm like, I'm good. I am good. Patty D, hello. How are you? No channel for me. Just apply good positive information to my life. Yeah. And see, so I was like that as well, Patty D, for a long time. So from 2008 until 2019, I want to say around December of 2019 is when I decided to really start building my channel. But prior to that, I was just a watcher. I loved content, just about anything I had a question on or wanted more information about. I can type it in the search and there was a video on it. And I loved that. I loved that I was able to see other content creators, and that's when I started looking at mukbangs as well. And I'm like, wow, this is interesting. So, product reviews, just a lot of different things. And I was trying to find what I do, like my niche. And it was really challenging, like videos that kind of talk about things that I talk about with workforce development, career readiness, entrepreneurship. Now, there's a lot more with entrepreneurship, but workforce development and career readiness, I don't really see a lot. And the videos I did find were like 2 years old, 5 years old, nothing really current. And the content was great. And I was wondering, like, why didn't these content creators continue to build? I still don't know why, but, here I am. I just took a leap and said, well, I don't see really a lot of what I do, but I'm going to come, and ready or not, here I come. So Patty D, you might get that itch at some point, especially as you are in different live streams or supporting different channels. You might say, you know what? I have something I want to say, something I want to share, Thank you for welcoming her in, Sister Fefe Tyson. Thank you so much. Danielle Jackson Shields. Y'all don't even know. That's my line sister. Thank you for showing up in the chat. Thank you. Oh, yes. I see you said hey to me here. I need to go back and look at some more of my I wasn't expecting all that. So you guys are so amazing, and I've been very supported since I decided to build my channel, trying to find a community that I felt really comfortable with, a community that I felt was genuine, authentic, that also that I respected was really important. I'm sorry, I'm such a crybaby. What in the world? So, Danielle, oh. So I appreciate you. Danielle is one of my line sisters. We pledged together at Lincoln University, spring 1989, 18 disorderlies, 18 young women said Delta Sigma Theta is the one for me. And we pledged, and I'm trying to tell you, we pledged. We pledged. Danielle was number 9 and I was number 16. It was 18 on our line. And it was a great experience. I wouldn't take it for anything in the world. I'm trying to tell you, pledging was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And so as I encounter hard things, I always look back to when I pledged and I'm like, I pledged, or when I'm going through something hard, I know it's going to end. And nothing lasts forever. So it's going to end. So I just keep going through, because the end is going to come. But as I'm going through, I'm gathering those nuggets. So when I tell you, grab those nuggets, I'm talking about those valuable information, those valuable resources, that valuable experience. Put it in your bag, because when you're going through, you're down under, you're shoveling through, you're trying to dig your way out, you're throwing that dirt behind you. You don't know, there's diamonds in that dirt, there's gold in that dirt, there's platinum in that dirt, there's emeralds in that dirt, there's rubies in that dirt. But so many people just have their head down and they're just trying to dig out. They don't even care. They don't take the time to sift through that dirt to get to those diamonds, to get to that gold, that platinum, those rubies, those emeralds, all those amazing priceless gems. And when they get out, they're like, whoo, I made it out of that tunnel. I made it out of that hole. I dug my way out. But then when they stand up and they take a couple of more steps, then they're down into another hole. They got to get their shovel, but they don't realize those valuable jewels that they left behind is what is going to help them get through that next hole even quicker. Get through that next hole with more confidence. Get through that next hole with more security, you know? So always know in everything you do that you have a nugget to capture. Everything you hear, everything you see, you know, what is it? What is it? Wow. Yes, absolutely. It does. It feels really good to be supported. Tales of Tea. It does. It feels so good to be supported. And that's why, you know, I understand, you know, typically your inner circle, especially when you are doing any kind of business. And I was just talking to one of my cousins today who has a really good business. And I really enjoy her product. And, you know, she was like, it's just so frustrating. You know, no one really supports me. I get way more support from strangers, you know, when I do my lives and stuff and people come, I don't even know who they are. And they just really are supportive. They love what I do. And I'm like, that's how it is. You have to be okay with that. I grew up with that. You know, my parents, like I said before in other videos, they owned and operated 2 amazing stores, same business type, and for 40 years. And it was years. I mean, my grandmother started this church. My mother grew up in this church. My mother was christened in there. I was christened. My brothers, 2 of my 3 kids, my niece and nephew, I was married there. My parents, my brothers, and they did not utilize my parents' business. And my parents' business was 100% aligned with them. But that didn't stop my parents from, you know, or me or any of us from still being members, for still being active in the church and going and this, that, and the other. But just a lot of people in general that knew us didn't necessarily use our business. If my mother got a new car, they would look at it like they bought it. No, my parents worked really hard, you know, but luckily they didn't have to rely on the people that was in their inner circle to maintain their business. They had strangers who became amazing customers and was able to sustain them and grow their business. And their business served and supported many families that were employees of the businesses. So, you know, I told my cousin, don't get discouraged if your inner circle is not there. They will come, but don't you let that stop you. Don't let it discourage you. Keep moving, keep pushing forward. Absolutely. But when you do get that support, that feeling, it's something to it. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So, and I know that, you know, life happens. Life is busy for everyone. So not everyone can support you in that way, or they support you in different ways. They might be, you know, in the bushes. They might be, they're just living their life. It's just not possible to support everyone. So that is fine too. Ultimately, that is fine too. But you guys, I just wanted to come on here for a little bit and share with you one of the stories from back in my day. And I hope that you found it beneficial and that you got a nugget from it. If you got a nugget from this live, please write it in the chat. I would love to see some of the things that you may have gleaned from this live, you know, and I hope that just like what Maya Angelou said to me resonates even to me to even this day. I hope it will resonate to you. Never kneel down to any man, only to God. I hope that this really resonated with you. Oh, I love all the hearts. Yes, that's a great idea, Danielle. Thank you. So if you did get a nugget, just put a red heart in the chat, because I know it's going to be hard. I know some people give me amazing feedback and I don't want you to feel compelled. I want you to just kind of let it marinate a little bit. And then you can come back when the video is published and put it in the comment box below the video and let me know what was your one nugget that you got, that you received from this live. Once again, I want to invite you tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here live. I'm going to have Lincoln University in Pennsylvania, which is the first HBCU in the country. I'm having 2 alumni come on, and they're going to talk about why Lincoln University, what their experiences were when they were students there, and how they are supportive of Lincoln University as alumni. And we're going to also open the invitation up so you can be invited to the virtual homecoming. It's the first one ever. You guys, the times that we are in, okay? But I hope that you're able to come, bring your questions. If you have students who are on the fence about what school they may want to go to, bring them along and let them listen, because they're going to hear some really good reasons and testimonies of why Lincoln is the best. I'm trying to tell you, it is the best. I had a great experience. I don't know anyone who did not have a great career after attending Lincoln. So that's an important thing, especially in these times. And I'm so excited that Green Fam 2.0's daughter went. I hope that you share this with your daughter and invite her, please, to come. And maybe I might even be able to bring her up, especially since she's a recent graduate. What's it been, 4 years, 2016. I want to thank everyone for being here. There's so many great people in the live. I can't even begin to announce. I hope I was able to capture you all as you walked in the building. I see Zaya Rose came in. Yves Belize is here. Minister of Music Terrence Trower was here. Catherine with Friends. Let's see. Boss Lady Denise, Nikki Nichols, my girl. Her and I have done amazing panels together about working from home opportunities. She is wonderful. Green Fam 2.0 is here. 20. I don't know why I keep saying 2.0. Mr. and Mrs. Annie Balo is here. Pink Motivation. Great to see you. All of you. So great. Let's see. The Miss Yo-Yo Show, Tuber Chat, Connect and Grow. Thank you all so much. Jaden Suh, 28. Yes, indeed. Sister Fefe Tyson was holding it down in the chat as my mod. I appreciate you, sis. I truly do. I truly do. Danielle Jackson Shields, my line sister, my Sands, my soror. Thank you so much for showing up today. I appreciate you. Blinding Lights, Tales of Tea is in the building. So many great channels. Patty D, thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you. Yes, everyone. So once again, don't forget, tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm excited about it, and you should be too, because it's going to be some great information. It's going to be historical, okay? Being the first HBCU founded in 1854, that alone should tell you it's historical. And I'm just, I'm ready for the conversation. So I want you to remember, this channel is about workforce development, career readiness, entrepreneurship, and of course, real life, real issues, and real talk. If you're not yet a member, if you're not yet part of this team, I invite you to hit that subscribe button and the bell for notification. I appreciate you for giving this live a thumbs up. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you for rocking with me. And also, don't forget to leave a comment. Leave a comment once it's published. And until we speak again, practice how you play. Practice so hard, because when you do that, you will always play to win. I see so many great things. Yes, thank you. We should be supporting each other. Absolutely. Love you. I love you too. Who wouldn't want to lunch that long? I know, Nikki. I did it for 4 years. For 4 years, I had a lunch like that. From 12 to 2:30. But you guys, thanks again. Stay safe and play to win. This has been Real Talk with Coach Sherry.